Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you are in the world, and welcome to today's webinar, Intelligent Outdoor Applications Made Seamless with IoT Security Technology, brought to you by Tech Online, V5 Systems, Intel, Aero, and broadcast by AspenCore. I'm Chris Keach, and I'll be your moderator today. We have just a few brief announcements before we begin. First, the slides will advance automatically throughout the event. You may also download a copy of the slides by clicking on the green folder icon located at the bottom of your screen. You can participate in our Q&A session by asking questions at any time during this webinar. Just type your question into the Q&A text area located to the right of the presentation window and then click the Submit button. Please note that we'll try to get to as many questions as we can at the end of today's webinar, but if we're not able to get to your question today, someone will get back to you after the program is over. And also at this time, we recommend that you disable your computer's pop-up blockers. This will allow these slides to advance automatically throughout the event. And at the end of the webinar, we will ask you to complete our feedback form. Your feedback will provide us with valuable information on how we can improve future events. You can also launch the survey at any time by clicking on the red survey button at the bottom of your console. And if you're experiencing any technical problems, please type your issue into the Q&A text area, and we will be glad to offer one-on-one assistance. And now on to the presentation, Intelligent Outdoor Applications Made Seamless with IoT Security Technology. It's my great pleasure to introduce today's presenter, Ranjan Krishnamurthy, VP Channel Sales, V5 Systems. Ranjan has over 20 years of experience in enterprise sales and business management in the high-tech industry in the Bay Area. He has held sales and management positions at Exodus Communications, Cable and Wireless, Savvis, and several startups in Silicon Valley. His focus has always been on strategic sales initiatives and OEM channel relationships with a singular goal of consistently beating his annual targets year after year. It's with great pleasure I now turn this special session over to Ranjan to begin. Ranjan, take it away.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate everyone's time for taking the time to attend this webinar, sponsored by Aero and Intel, and we appreciate your interest in V5 Systems very much. I have about 20 to 24 slides that I'll be doing for you, and also a live video, which is about 2 minutes in length. And the presentation is designed so that we can talk about the V5 technology, and then right after that, go and look at a real live use case that kind of talks about the value proposition that V5 brings, problem statements that the customer had, and how we solve that problem. Okay, good. So let's go to the first slide. Intelligent Outdoor Security Applications. V5 is a technology company that has created the world's first true industrial IoT computing platform just for the outdoors. Right? This platform makes it very easy, very seamless, and very quick for deployment. One of the market-ready applications for the industrial IoT is security, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. This is security products to be deployed in any outdoor environment without having to tap into fixed power and connectivity. Next slide, please. Industrial IoT has been around for a long time, as you all probably know. And again, it was made with helping to improve connectivity, efficiency, scalability, cost savings, etc. I think the end goal was to provide predictive maintenance, improved safety, as well as better operational efficiencies. And I'm going to talk about how the industrial IoT, again, for the outdoor deployments, how V5 can actually help there. Remember, for any one of these deployments for the industrial IoT, sensors are key, and they need to have power. How do you get power for the outdoors? And how do you communicate if it's set up for the outdoors? And that's the problem we solve. Next slide, please. The challenges for outdoor industrial IoT applications are, number one, no infrastructure. If you need to have a sensor in the outdoors today, one thing you definitely need is power. If you don't have power, how do you put these sensors out there? The second challenge, which is also a huge challenge, is the cost of trenching. Without power, you need to trench. You need to trench for power. You need to trench for connectivity. Again, the price and the cost can be extremely high. The third challenge is how do you put all these off-the-shelf components together to get the industrial IoT solution out there? Permits, trenching, implementation sometimes can take months and even years. Next slide, please. So V5 Systems, again, solves, I think, most of these problems. Our tagline is ongoing intelligence anywhere. What we have done is combine edge computing with wireless communications. And when I say wireless communications, I'm talking about Wi-Fi, cell, RF, or satellite, all combined together in a self-powered device so that you now have a unit that has all three components built together that can be deployed in under 30 minutes for the outdoor environment. What exactly does this mean for you? Here I'm going to play a quick video, and I think you'll get a good flavor as to where V5 is going with this and what we can do for you. Video, please.
Hi, my name is Mazen Bedwan. I'm the president and co-founder of V5 Systems. At V5 Systems, we have engineered a revolutionary power system. This allows us the ability to deploy sophisticated security systems and computing systems wirelessly in any outdoor environment. Our technology offers computing at the edge. It's self-powered and portable, so there is no need for trenching. This means that you are 100% free from the grid. This allows you to be fast, rapidly deploy this technology, and get real-time alerts. Traditional security systems can take weeks, months, sometimes even years to implement. There are a lot of costs associated with trenching, and there's a lot of time involved in acquiring the necessary permits. V5 Systems provides an end-to-end solution that can be deployed in any outdoor environment wirelessly in under 60 minutes. If your security needs change, you can rapidly deploy our device from one location to another. This is truly revolutionary. With Edge Analytics, V5 Systems delivers actionable alerts that allow you to respond proactively to a situation rather than being reactive or responding after the fact. Traditionally, video and sensor information is pushed to a back-end server, where it is then monitored in a secured operating center. In the event of an incident, after human verification, a dispatcher will then notify first responders or security personnel. As it relates to security, every minute is critical. We have integrated the Dell 5000 gateway on our platform, which allows us to collect and analyze information in real time, and we can push this information to any end device or connected device. This saves time and allows you to respond immediately. Our system is powered by patented, lightweight, bullet-resistant solar panels. We've developed a modular sensor platform on the Dell 5000 gateway. This enables V5 Systems to run video, acoustic, or chemical signatures in any combination on our device. Additionally, any Dell partners or ISVs can run validated third-party software or sensors on this platform. Thanks for watching. We're very happy to share this innovative technology with you. With V5 Systems, the old barriers to outdoor security are lifted.
Great. Okay, good. I think that video kind of summarizes the very good summary of the value proposition and the V5 Systems technology. Let's talk about turnkey market-ready security solutions provided by V5. The first one I'm going to talk about is called a portable security unit, a PSU. This is our flagship product. The second is the gunshot detection unit, again, very portable. The third is a portable license plate reader. And the fourth is power for the outdoors. Okay, let's talk about the PSU, which is a portable security unit. These, again, are truly portable. They weigh less than 25 pounds. They can be deployed very easily and also redeployed very easily. So basically, if you have a special event like a concert, a marathon, a fair, you now have security that you can provide for those events within 30 minutes. So basically, you take these units, you deploy them, and now you have security in the sky that's watching the event. Once the event is done with, you can take them down and then take them to a different place if you wanted to. Again, remember, no fixed power is needed because these things have power by themselves. They're self-powered. What that means is they have lithium-ion batteries inside these units that charge very intelligently. They're software-driven. They know when to charge up. They know when to discharge, etc. So they last for a very long time. How do they get that power? They get that power with solar panels. The solar panels are 2 feet by 3 feet. They're very high efficiency solar panels. They're bullet resistant. And again, bullet resistant may sound like a big deal, but really if you're in a state like Texas where you have hail, again, these units are going to keep working for you for a long time. The units are equipped with edge computing devices. Again, what that means is basically everything is processed right at the edge. The data comes in, it gets processed, so whatever is streamed out is things that people understand. And I'll talk a little bit about this because these units also have analytics built into them, and I think that's important for us to understand what that is. Every one of these units has a V5 user interface. What that means is you can monitor these units remotely. You can look at their health status, look at the power status. If a customer wants us to do the monitoring, we also offer a service where V5 does the remote monitoring for the customer. The units also have wireless communication built in. Now, this is really huge because remember, they are now being deployed in areas where there's no power. The power that's inside these units is driving this wireless communication, whether it's cell, RF, wireless Wi-Fi, or satellite. Any one of those communication protocols will actually work with this device. And the last thing, and that's again very important to understand, is storage. Each one of these units has 1 terabyte of storage built into them inside the unit. What does that really do? They're working 24 by 7, which means they are now storing up to 30 days of HD video inside the unit itself, right? Okay. Let's talk about edge computing and analytics. These units are sold, by the way, in 2 different flavors. One is with the analytics built in. The other one is just plain streaming. If it has the analytics built in, what is this doing? Let's say you have at a university or a campus, a football stadium that's being monitored. You can now set these units up for a certain time, let's say between 12 and 5 a.m., for a certain zone, a certain area that you want covered. If that area gets broken, if that rule gets broken by either, and again, these are all object-driven, so basically by a human being, by a vehicle, by an animal, it knows instantly that rule got broken. What does it do? As soon as that rule gets broken, it sends an email and a text message to the first responders, either on their cell phones, on their tablets, on their laptops, whatever it might be. And so they get an email and text message along with a video link that they can click onto. That video link, as soon as it opens up, gives them a live video feed of that event as it's happening. So the first responders can now react very quickly. If it's something that they want to go and take care of at once, they can drive there, walk there, bike there, whatever the case may be, and take care of that problem right on that spot. If they don't want to, they can just ignore it. Again, remember the unit is recording 24 by 7, so they now have video feed of that event actually happening. Okay. Next slide, please. As I mentioned at the very beginning, what I like to do is give you a real live use case of every one of these applications as we're going along. The first one here is a portable security unit, and this is San Jose University, State University in San Jose. Very unique school because it's right in the middle of downtown. So really, it's not cordoned off by fences or anything like that. Anyone can walk in, anyone can walk out. And they're very concerned about security, and they should be, because that is, again, their value. They want to protect their students, they want to protect their faculty, they want to protect visitors coming into that school. The school is growing by leaps and bounds, and again, infrastructure is already in place, but infrastructure is not in place for more power. So what they did was they're using V5 systems for two things. They use V5 systems for the portable security unit with analytics built in for security, and they also have gunshot detection units, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. That was their problem. The problem was being able to monitor and secure their campus as best as they could, especially in remote areas where they could not do today without actually having power. In the picture, you see that there's a solar panel along with the unit below it, and basically all it's doing is just watching 24/7. Some of them, like I said, have analytics built into them, so depending on where they might be, if that rule gets broken, their police officers are right there on that spot taking care of that issue. What was the ROI for San Jose? This was really a slam dunk. In the Bay Area, trenching runs anywhere between $750 to $1,000 a foot. For this particular application, for them to put 50 to 80 to 100 of these units, I mean, there was really no issues in terms of selling it to them, because trenching would have been extremely expensive for them. Okay, next slide, please. And this is, again, the second one of our turnkey market-ready security solutions. Now, remember, every one of these products that I'm talking about today, or solutions I'm talking about today, these are turnkey, basically out-of-the-box solutions that can be deployed very easily in under 30 minutes. The gunshot detection unit is, I think, very interesting because in the news these days we hear a lot about gunshots and things happening on campuses, etc. The gunshot detection unit comes again in two flavors. The first is basically just the gunshot detection unit by itself, standalone. The second is a gunshot detection unit with a camera built into it, right? The way these things work, again, they're very, very smart units. They have neural networks, so basically a little mini brain inside of them. They have artificial intelligence. They are powered by V5 Systems' proprietary power that we talked about. Again, completely portable. They can be put up at any time, taken down at any time. What happens when a gunshot gets fired? When a gunshot gets fired, these units know exactly where they came from. Now, gunshot detection units triangulate. What that really means is you need a minimum of 3 of these units for them to become super accurate. So when a gunshot does get fired, these units talk to each other. They know exactly within seconds where the gunshot came from. They know the angle of the gunshot. And again, within seconds, they're sending a text. They're sending an email. They're sending an audio clip of the actual gunshot. And if there's a camera attached to this, they're actually sending a video clip so that the first responders can open up both. They can listen to the audio clip. They can also look at the video clip. What makes this really unique is, remember, if there is an incident, the amount of confusion that's caused by a gunshot is incredible. The longer you wait to take care or to respond, it just exponentially becomes even more horrible and more confusing. So when we can send out an alert via email, via text to the first responders within seconds of this event happening, right, where they can dynamically respond to this in a very short period of time and maybe seal that area where the gunshot came from, maybe saving lives, maybe causing less confusion, etc. And that's what makes our unit so unique. Because they're so portable and so easily deployed. Okay, next slide, please. Here's a fantastic use case and a really interesting use case of our gunshot detection units working with the city in San Francisco Bay Area. The problem statement was there was actually a shooter who was firing at moving vehicles over a period of 4 months. The cameras that they had in place in the city were just not enough because this guy was shooting in remote areas where there was no power for them to put cameras in. They tried, with all the evidence they gathered, tried to get this guy down, track him down, but they just could not. There were no witnesses. And again, within a month or so, it went from 5 shootings to 10 shootings. And the police department was getting kind of desperate because they needed to catch this guy before he started doing some real damage. V5 systems helped. What we did was we deployed some portable camera security units along with portable gunshot detection units. Now remember, one thing that we can do is we can be very portable. So as the culprit moved, we can move with him. So when gunshots took place at a certain area, we deployed the cameras and the gunshot detection units in that area to try to see whether we could locate this person. And as he kept moving, we kept moving with him. So within a month, the police officers moved these units 12 times and basically tightening the noose around this culprit. At one point, we actually got very lucky. There was actually a breakthrough. We were able to capture his vehicle with the cameras just a few seconds before the gunshots went off. So again, the gunshots went off. We knew what kind of vehicle he was driving. And now we had a good sense as to the person's vehicle and the license plate, the color, etc. And within a few days, he was captured. He's now waiting to be put in jail for 10 counts of attempted murder. Again, a fantastic use case of how quickly we were able to deploy these units, how quickly we were actually able to catch the culprits in spite of them trying to catch him over months. We went in there and within a month, using our technology, they were able to capture this person. Next slide, please. Okay. The next turnkey market-ready solution I want to talk about is license plate readers. License plate readers have been around for a very long time, and that's not really that unique. But what is unique is that ours is truly and completely portable. Again, remember, we can install these units, the license plate readers, anywhere. They're powered, they're self-powered, and again, they get recharged with the solar panels. The license plate readers today that we deploy are able to read 2 lanes of traffic with cars traveling at 55 miles an hour. And also, it captures the license plate as the cars are coming in and moving or coming into a parking lot, etc. And if you had a database behind this or a hot list behind this, what customers or prospects can do is basically create that hot list. Every time a car comes in, it reads the license plate, it knows it's okay. If it's a felon, if it's a stolen car, and it's something different, it knows that too. So again, first responders are notified. Same story, email, text, and a video link of the license plate along with the color and make of the car. So they can respond very quickly, take care of an issue. Maybe that's an issue that may prevent something from happening. And again, this is where V5 technology comes in and makes it very, very easy, very seamless, very effective to prevent a happening that may not happen. Okay, let me give you an example of the license plate reader. This is again a very unique example because this was done for illegal dumping in the Silicon Valley. The problem statement was, again, remember in the valley, the prices of homes and apartments are sky high. People tend to move quite a bit. And when they move, they decide on dumping whatever they have in their homes somewhere. And that's illegal. So 170 illegal dumping hotspots. The city was fielding hundreds of calls a day because, again, it's not only, it's environmentally unsafe. Plus, it costs the city a lot of money. It costs over $1 million annually just to clean up this mess. Our solution was for them to put up some, again, portable security camera units along with the license plate readers. In less than a year, the city has seen their service requests go down tremendously, especially where these units are deployed. The units not only act as a deterrent, because most people, when they get out of their cars, they look around and they see something up on a pole or on a vertical structure, and they realize it's a camera, and they get back in the car and they just drive away. It really isn't a revenue-generating thing for the city. It's just basically a deterrent because, again, they want to make the environment safe. They want to make it convenient and nice for the neighborhood, etc. And it's worked out really, really well for them. They've actually, I think, picked up about 17 or 18 different cases where they've been able to look at the license plate and go and prosecute, in addition to just prevent these things from happening. All right. Next. The last turnkey market-ready security solution I'd like to talk about is power. Now, power is, again, everything that we've talked about today is predicated by having power for the outdoors that is completely independent of the power grid. This is really the way the company got formed, was because of power. The founders of the company, they realized industrial IoT was in its infancy. They realized that sensors would be used for the outdoors, and they wanted to create a product that could use those sensors in the outdoors by having power. Each one of these units has up to 1,500 watts of power inside of them. They're very light in terms of weight, the 25 pounds again. They can be deployed very easily. You can set it up for any PoE type power connection inside these units. They're powered by the solar panels. We talked about that before. Each one of the solar panels is 2 feet by 3 feet. They're very rugged. They don't have any frames to them. They don't have any glass to them. Again, they're very lightweight, and they're bullet resistant. And what does this really do for you? I mean, in terms of what can you use the power for? And I think this is probably one of the most exciting products we have because there's so many use cases for power today. You can use this for, powering up a camera. You can use this to extend Wi-Fi if you wanted to. You can use this for weather in agricultural products, for example, at a vineyard. You can use this for computing platforms, for marine applications. Again, anywhere that you need power for the outdoors would be perfect use case for these units. Okay. Next slide, please. The first use case I'd like to talk about for power is for extending Wi-Fi. The one thing I didn't mention about power and about all the other units, again, remember everything as far as health is concerned and power is concerned can be monitored remotely. So even with these power units, you can actually monitor power remotely to make sure that they don't run out or they don't run down, or if there's an issue, it can be taken care of remotely. This is actually, again, a very interesting use case, I think. This is for a construction company in Kansas, a very large construction company in Kansas. Their problem statement was they would like to extend their Wi-Fi at the construction sites. They did not want to use cell. They didn't want to use RF. They wanted Wi-Fi. And again, during construction, their contractors, their workers, their architects need Wi-Fi for the buildings as they're building them. They used our power units. Basically, each one of these power units has an Aruba access point inside of them. And now they're able to extend their Wi-Fi from wherever they might have it to the construction site, which could be 2, 3, 5 miles away. and still use Wi-Fi that they have at their home site. Again, this was a no-brainer for this construction company in terms of costs. Trenching for power would have been extremely expensive, and this came in as an ROI that was something they just could not refuse. The V5 power units work extremely well. They work extremely reliably, and they're very, very efficient, and they love it. And they use solar power to charge up the batteries. Again, these are places that don't have power today, so it works out extremely well for them. As an added bonus, remember, these are redeployable. So once that building gets finished, they can actually take these power units to the next site and do the same thing if they wanted to. The second use case for power that I'd like to talk about is UCLA housing. UCLA housing during move-in day is always very, very hectic. UCLA is growing at a very rapid pace. They're getting a lot more students coming in. They're building housing for these students, but they want to put cameras around the housing complexes. They want to put cameras around the walkways in remote areas, and they just cannot do that unless they trench. Trenching for them, again, is very expensive. It's also very, it's not a good solution, especially when they have students on campus, because it becomes very disruptive. So what they decided to do was use the V5 power to run security cameras around their campus where they did not have fixed power. But they were adamant about one thing, two things actually. One was they wanted to use their own cameras, which was fine with us. The second thing was they had an internal network on campus, and this was a Ubiquiti RF network, and they wanted to use that, which is again fine with us. So what we did for them was we gave them two different connections inside these power units. I believe one was for 12 volts, the other one was for 24 volts. They plugged the camera into one, they plugged the Ubiquiti into the other one. They put up the units themselves on a light pole or any vertical structure, and now they're able to get cameras around the campus using their network, using their cameras, as if it was an internal camera solution that they have. They have over 800 cameras on campus, by the way, and it's working extremely well for them. As they expand, they want to use more and more of our solution. In terms of ROI, again, trenching was just not something they wanted to do. It was going to cost them over $750,000, and that was something they just did not want to spend. Let's talk about who can benefit from the V5 systems technology and solution. Anyone in need for outdoor power, outdoor security, especially if they cannot have access to fixed power and communications. I've listed a couple of verticals that we are very successful in. Again, this is for outdoor security, the government and military, again, very, very high on this. Industry and enterprise, again, we have quite a few Fortune 500 companies in our mix today that are using V5 power and technology and solutions for outdoor security. Transportation is a big one. Oil and gas is huge. We have customers that use it on their pipeline for looking at, again, security and safety of their pipeline and their projects as they're building them. Law enforcement obviously is huge. Sporting venues and events, again, fairly large. Campuses, very, very large. And we're talking about universities, schools. They seem to like this a lot. Next slide. Let me just recap the solutions I've gone over today. I talked about the portable security unit, the PSU. Again, two different flavors. One is with analytics, one without analytics. If you had the analytics inside these units, remember, as soon as that rule gets broken, whether it's an area, whether it's a certain time, etc., first responders are very quickly notified within seconds with a video link, and they can now take a look at live video of that event as it's happening and respond. Second unit, again, every one of these units uses communication, except for the power one. Every one of them uses some sort of wireless communication, whether it's RF, whether it's Wi-Fi, whether it's cell. The second thing I talked about, the second market-ready solution, is the gunshot sensing units. Again, if a gunshot gets fired, you need a minimum of 3 of these units to work together. It knows exactly where the shots came from. It knows the angle of the gunshot. Again, first responders are notified via email, via text, with an audio link, and if there's a camera, also with a video link. And it tells them exactly where they need to respond to and respond very quickly, very dynamically. The third unit we talked about, or third solution we talked about, is the license plate readers, LPRs. Again, very portable, can be put up very quickly, read license plates. If there's a database behind it, it uses that database to look at the license plates to say yes, felon, no, stolen car, whatever the case might be. First responders are notified via email. It also can look at 2 lanes of traffic, cars traveling at 55 miles an hour, and read that license plate, look at the make, look at the color of the car, and again, send that information to first responders. Plus, remember, all of these units are storing it inside these units for up to 1 month in HD quality. And the last turnkey security product we talked about is Power. Power has lots of applications. I think it's, especially if it's for outdoor sensors, this is a fantastic solution that we can provide to them. Every one of these products is turnkey, out of the box, point and shoot. Okay. The reasons customers care, why are we selling so many? Why is V5 such a hot company today? Number one, it definitely saves money. No question about that. The ROI is plain and simple and very easy to understand. Secondly, saves time. These can be deployed very quickly, and they can be redeployed very quickly. Again, it's a huge benefit, especially when it comes to security for the outdoors. And third is it's very scalable. Today, they can start off, again, every one of our solutions is modular. You can start off with a camera, you can add gunshot to it, you can start out with 1 camera, you can have 10 different cameras added to it. One thing I haven't mentioned, and I should have mentioned before, is we provide our own VMS with every one of these units. We also have solutions where you can use your VMS, or the customer can use their VMS with every one of our solutions. Next slide, please.
Looks like our first question here for you, Ranjan. Can I install these myself, or do I need a third party to deploy these?
Fantastic question. No, you can install it yourself. We have documents, we have videos, we have training that show you how to install them. You would need a bucket truck if it's going up on a vertical structure. If it's going up 15, 20 feet, you're going to need a bucket truck. Other than that, it's fairly simple to install.
All right, thank you, Ranjan. Our second question for you: are these license fees for, or are there license fees for the V5 UI app?
The UI app today works on both Android and iOS. As far as license fees are concerned, we do not charge license fees today. That may change, but today we do not charge license fees, no.
All right, it looks like we have just one more question for you here. How long do these units stay powered without solar input?
Fantastic. Yeah, so they're designed to stay on with the units that we have out of our factories for up to 3 days straight without recharging. So basically, they run for 3 days. They don't need any charge whatsoever. The solar panels require about 5 to 8 hours of light to charge up the batteries inside the units themselves. And then you get another 72 hours again without any charging required. As long as there's light, the panels, the units are getting charged up all the time. Again, remember, it's software driven, so it's very intelligent in the way it charges up the units, the batteries inside the units. So it never overcharges them and never charges them below a certain percentage. And that's how we get a very, very long life to these batteries themselves.
All right, and then Ranjan, we got a question asking if they can get a copy of the slides.
Yes, I believe they can. I think, Chris, you mentioned that at the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there'll be a link with to today's presentation on demand that will allow you to download the slides. Also, at this point, I'd like to point out that there is also a link allowing you to schedule a one-on-one for 15 minutes with a V5 Systems technology expert. So you might want to take advantage of that as well. Looks like we have another question coming in. What is the resolution of the camera?
So today we're using, with the cameras we have in our factories today, we're using 2 megapixel cameras. And the reason for that is very simple. If you're using cell as your mode of transportation or mode of communication, if you use anything higher than 2 megapixel, there's a chance that you get throttled. 2 megapixel works perfectly fine. You can change the frame rates if needed to, etc. We've had customers who are using higher resolution cameras and it works okay. But I recommend sticking with 2 megapixel, and like I said, it works really well.
All right, we have one final question. You'd mentioned earlier something about power status. How can we check it remotely?
So there's a UI that we provide, and you load the UI up, and you're able to get into the units themselves, and status of those units are given to you either every time you check it, or if there's an alert, it will automatically alert you telling you there's a problem. Again, that's the UI we provide, and also we provide a service, like I mentioned before. So if your customers or any customer wants to use us as for remote monitoring, we can also provide that for a monthly fee.
All right, and could you explain a little bit about the web user interface and the app?
Sure. The web user interface, again, downloadable from your store, your web stores. Once it's in there, you get yourself a password, get yourself a user ID, and you're on the way to go. Very simple.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Ranjan. That does look like all the questions that we have for today. For more information related to today's webinar, please visit any of the resource links available in the green folder icon at the bottom of your screen. And again, please note the link allowing you to schedule a one-on-one for 15 minutes with a V5 technology expert who will go over all the possible solutions for you. And within the next 24 hours, you'll receive a personalized follow-up email with details and a link to today's presentation on demand. Once again, we'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar, Intelligent Outdoor Applications Made Seamless with IoT Security Technology, brought to you by Tech Online, V5 Systems, Intel, and Arrow. This webinar is copyright 2018 by Aspen Core. The presentation materials are owned by or copyright by Tech Online, V5 Systems, Intel, and Arrow, and the individual speaker is solely responsible for his content and opinions. On behalf of our guests, V5 System, Intel, and Arrow, I'm Chris Keach. We'd like to thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great day.